Awesome. Okay, so I see I want to go to London or Edinburgh, Costa Rica. Amazing, amazing. France, Germany, Ireland. I'm going to wing it Winnipeg and Charleston this October. Yes, Graham. Yes to local travel. Yes, love that. Also, Graham, hi. I'm so happy you're here. Germany. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, has anyone ever heard of international? Oh, I just skipped all my slides. Excuse me, everyone. International Experience Canada. So I like their little tagline here because it's very real, connecting you to a world of opportunities. So let me go into this a little bit. So first of all, why should you even bother getting international experience? I know some people, like gappers, usually get into this thing. They're like, okay, well, I really want to travel, but like, I also want to do all these things to like build up my resume and make myself look awesome when I go to apply for a job or a scholarship or post-secondary. Honey, all of these things are skills that you will get from traveling. So listen to me. So first of all, let's talk about learning about yourself. Oh my gosh, the self-discovery that you do when you are traveling is unreal. You ever gotten off a flight in a foreign country by yourself and tried to navigate how to get to your hotel? My goodness, you will learn a lot about your patience, improved life skills. We don't always talk about the value of things like cultural competency and learning to be independent and how to have communication skills. Those are all real skills that are needed in the workplace and in your future. Of course, you make international connections. You're improving your language skills. I don't know if anyone's interested in going to another country to specifically learn a different language. What an incredible, incredible opportunity. Of course, you build your resume, especially if you're working in a different country. That's like a whole way to like throw yourself out there and just like learn all the things at once. You actually improve your employment outcomes because there's like beautiful, diverse experience on your resume. You can actually, me and Michelle will talk about it another time, but there's beautiful ways to add a gap year on your resume. Even on LinkedIn, there is an option to talk about how incredible a gap year can like set you up for success. So we'll get there. It does improve academic success. It makes you probably the most interesting person in the room. And you get a really clear understanding of a global market. Like, trust me, the way your brain will explode thinking about how to take in just learning about the world in a different perspective. No longer in a classroom, no longer browsing online, but actually being in a destination. So, fun fact, did you know that to legally work in another country or travel for an extended period, you do need to have a valid permit or visa? So yes, I know that as Canadians, we are very, very, very privileged to have an incredible passport that allows us to go to many places, but you can actually only stay in some of those places for a short amount of time. Actually, fun fact, last year I overstayed my visa in France and I didn't get in trouble, but I could have gotten in a lot of trouble. And that's because you can only stay in usually countries for up to like 90 to 180 days depending. And sometimes you still need a visa to get to that 180 days. So that's 3 to 6 months. So having some type of work permit or work visa allows you to live and work in a particular country for extended periods of time. So for example, I was in France, getting some kind of permit so that you can stay there for 6 to 12 months would have been ideal. Work permits vary depending on the country. So there's different requirements, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And sometimes actually obtaining like a work permit can be really complex because you have to have it like specifically like getting a job first and then getting the permit from them and all that kind of stuff. And International Experience Canada helps you kind of like figure all that out. So there's 2 different types of work permits for working abroad. There's open work permits. So this is something it's commonly known as the working holiday visa. So I had one of those. I did one of those in Australia. Great times. It allows you to fund or supplement your vacation with temporary work. So usually you can't, it says that like you can't have more than one employer. You can't have more than one employer in more than one location, but usually you can only work for an employer for like a certain amount of time. You can work in any job that you find in the country that issues you can work at any job you can find in the country that issues the permit. So I know but specifically for like these kind of permits, it's also like a lot of like hospitality and all that good stuff. And you don't need to secure the job before you apply right to the country. So you can like full on get your visa, jump on your flight to Australia and figure it out as you go, which is probably the best way to do it because it is so much fun and you will meet amazing people and learn about a whole bunch of different opportunities. And then there's employer-specific permits. So this is common for international co-ops or internships for students. It also includes the young professionals category for those looking for experience to support with your career development. For this one, you must have a prearranged contract of employment before you apply, and you could only work for one employer because it's tied to an employer. So International Experience Canada exists to support you with managing that like mobility. So you can access up to 30 different countries that you can work in, which is amazing. And it's open to anyone ages between 18 and 35. And you can get work permits up to 2 years in a country. And then in some places, depending on the situation, you can even like go on and apply for permanent residence if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking to full on uproot your life. But this is really awesome. It's a part of the government. It's an incredible service, and it really walks you through it step by step, so you don't have to navigate all of the like technical language of all the things when it comes to visas and permits. So they're really, really helpful in that way. So these are some of the countries that they allow you to, yeah, I think it's actually been increased to 32 countries. So there's the list here. So maybe just take a quick look if you were considering it, because obviously it's only 32 countries. It's not the whole world. So these are the options available. If you go to, Michelle just dropped the link in the chat, canada.ca/IEC. You can go there and they'll help you kind of find all the things that you need. And especially like you can choose countries and get all the information about like what you need to secure the permit. IEC also has a different part of the organization that can also help you with like getting like job placements and doing all that kind of stuff as well. So if it's something that like, you know what, I'm a little nervous, I'm not sure I really want to be dropped to a different country and then like have to immediately find a job, there is services that can help you with that. So don't be concerned. There's always a way, there's always options. And IEC also does a lot of like the orientation with their recognized organizations as well. You do not have to use a recognized organization to obtain a work permit though, right? So you can still get the work permit. You don't have to leverage these additional services because they are at a fee, but you can still, but it's an option if you need it. Apollo says, do they also help you find residence? No, I don't believe so. Possibly one of the recognized organizations, but that would be a paid service. So how do country requirements vary? So again, it depends. So you definitely want to make sure that if you have a country set in mind, you go to the website and just check out what the requirements are, because there is age limitations. Obviously at your age, if you're 18 at least, then you're covered. But if you're 17, you might have to wait. If you're over 30, some countries don't do between 30 and 35. Obviously there's a maximum duration of stay. The fees that are associated with all of it, like sometimes you have to have like a certain amount of money in your bank account to apply, all that stuff. Sometimes you need to apply within a certain window before you go. So make sure you just check out all that information when you go over the website. And Amber, absolutely, I can totally attach this to a follow-up email, no problem. So how do you get started planning? I'm literally IEC's like cheerleader. Okay, so what you want to do is definitely go to the website. You select the country that you're interested in to learn more. Research discussion groups on what others have done. There's like, they have an amazing group of ambassadors that support IEC, like people who've been there, done that, who can share their experiences, lots of case studies to understand the do's and don'ts. And then of course you want to monitor any kind of travel advisories. Like there's always something going on in the world. You want to make sure that you're going to a place that's safe, right? And you're not going to be in harm's way. And then you can apply directly to your chosen country for a work permit. So they just walk you through the entire process. So that's what the website looks like when you go. So obviously you want to click on Canadian youth, work and travel abroad. There's obviously opportunities for foreign youth to come to Canada, but that's where you want to be. And this is what it will look like. So you'll go, you'll just click your little, you'll click the destination you want and you're off. And then all the additional information walks you through. It's very clear, very user-friendly to go through it all. So again, that's canada.ca/IEC. And again, Michelle has dropped that in the chat. I'm curious, does anybody have any questions about this? Oh, there we go.